welcome to Midnight Mystic. Today we are going to be diving into what your inner child is asking of you at this time. So let's dive right in. What does your inner child need at this time? Curiosity, bold steps forward, eye of the needle, intentionality. Two more maybe. Experience life as it comes. You might be going sailing. Surrender. Advice. Meditation and stillness and ego sublimation. I feel like the inner child is asking you to be curious or be in a state of curiosity about what the next step forward is for you. The farther gate and bold step forward. I was having a conversation with a friend earlier talking about how sometimes those bold steps forward, the things that we move towards with intention, towards what we want to create for ourselves. Like the saying of fortune favors the bold or fortune favors the brave. I feel like your inner child asking this of you might mean that you've been in a more fixed state or I'm seeing a vision of someone like trying to move forward, trying to move in a certain direction, but still having one foot anchored in the past. So it feels like striving and almost a suffering coming from that motion of trying so hard to have one foot forward towards movement, but really having one foot stuck in the past. So it's taking so much extra effort, and possibly this is calling you to be curious about what that is, what could be holding you back, what could have a grip around one of your ankles and is weighing you down as you're trying to intentionally make brave, bold moves into a different environment. Drifter, experiencing life as it comes. Could have felt like you were just drifting with the current before, that you were just allowing life to move you without direction. And surrender. So going with the flow, there is water here. You might start seeing your vision come together around the time of the next full moon. But the advice is deep quiet with meditation and stillness. This could also be quiet to hear spirit, because I'm seeing the crown chakra lit up here. I heard crystalline feels like you're touching a light source. This could even be taking a break from scrolling for some of you, is what I'm seeing. It feels like in this space of touching the light, of connecting with, I thought spirit or source, but it almost seems connecting with your higher self is like touching the mirror, and that's what busts it wide open. But this is actually what's being called of you. This is the advice. I'd like to read Vanishing Mirror. So, number 58, Vanishing Mirror, letting go of self centeredness, becoming a vessel of possibility. Oh, I love that. Becoming a vessel of possibility is kind of this surrender and drifting and curiosity, this creating and crafting that your inner child is asking of you. This feels like how to get there with the advice. Becoming a vessel of possibility seems like the end goal here. Do you ever wonder if self-definition has become too rigid, too fixed around what you've come to learn, so that you contract your life into zones of safe versus unsafe? This here is okay, but over there, well, that might be too risky. Judgment, fear, self-righteousness, and overconfidence are only some of the traits that keep you from evolving. We are all products of our conditioning, so remember that this is part of the human experience. Yet you are not meant to remain static, seeking only what you expect, even if it appears ambitious, is still too narrow. You go nowhere when you hesitate to move out of your comfort zone. Like the bold steps forward is what's being asked of you. When you focus too much on yourself this way, you become a servant of the ego. It edges God out, removing the magic of possibility. Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing only what you are now. If you can let your self-definition soften, moving beyond the veil to your potential, a magical emptiness exists where all things are possible. Look again. Who could you be? What would you see reflected if you allowed yourself to be other than how you define yourself now? You will recognize yourself as what you are, a partner in co-creation, in service to the divine. Doesn't it feel good? That's so beautiful. So right now, your inner child is asking you to be curious about the more. Be curious about what could be created. What it was talking about with letting go of self-definition or of what you think is possible for you, and opening to there being more possibilities and this void space where anything can be created, this vessel of possibilities. I feel like sitting in the deep quiet and opening yourself up to more, to possibilities, to expansion, being curious about not only the next step forward, but being curious about like a childlike wonder. It's giving me this vision of a child with a box of crayons and an empty piece of paper. And the entire class of children are asked to draw a house. If we were adults, we'd probably draw like the standard square with the roof and a door. We'd be pretty logical about drawing a house. We would start with the basics, maybe add some plants outside or get a little creative with it, but still stay confined within what the teacher is expecting when they say draw a house, but also what you think drawing a house typically looks like. It wouldn't look like the adult next to you necessarily, but it probably would look really similar. If you gave a child a blank piece of paper and said, draw a house, draw your dream house, they would probably have a twisty slide somewhere. It would be colorful. The plants would look all different. There would probably be a pet or an animal on the property. There would be a fun car. There would be all of these things. There's so much more that a child would draw because they would think, what would I really enjoy? What would be so fun? What playful things can I add in my house? And realize that they could make it into anything, that nothing is a no go, that they're being asked to draw your dream house or like draw the house that you dream of when you grow up. And not only is it going to look extremely different from the child next to them, but they also don't have the same boxed in or rigid views of what they think that that is supposed to look like. And most of the children aren't going to be thinking, oh, what does my teacher want to see me draw here? When they have that vessel of possibilities, when they have that curiosity and experimenting and the imagination and the dreaminess of it all, that is that inner child playing. It's allowing for a sense of magic and wonder to come into your life. And I feel like that's what this is asking of you, is that to move in, to move forward intentionally, but with an openness that allows for surprises, that allows for magic and miracles to happen for you, that surrendering brings into view magical things. Like, I've never seen a creature like this. I don't know if this is a fairy or a butterfly, a dragonfly. I am not sure what this is. Had I not seen this just now, without witnessing it here with you in this moment, that's not a creature that my mind would just draw up out of nowhere. So I feel like it's asking you to create space for magic, for a little bit of whimsy in your life, for creativity and playfulness, and being open to more than just what you envision being possible for you. To have the safety of your boat and have the sail where you can direct it with the winds, but also allowing sometimes to drift and just see where you land, what a new land that you've never experienced before could open you up to seeing things that you've never seen before and having new experiences. And I feel like to get there, you do need that quiet meditation and stillness to open yourself up as that vessel, to break apart the fixed vision that you have of things so more can come into view. It's a little bit of a trust fall here, a little bit of a trust that if you let go of expectations or what you think something should look like, or even drawing your house as you think that someone else expects it to look, that if you take that away and just play with the possibilities, to be curious, to even create something completely new that no one has seen or witnessed before. But this does feel of your creation here with the needles and the threads. So it's not asking you to be reckless, but it is asking you to open up, clear space for more, and to allow that more for you to be something that you have not experienced or seen previously, and play with that a little bit. I'm also feeling like if you are someone that struggles with the meditation and stillness, you could find playful ways to experience that. Meditation doesn't have to look how a lot of us think. It doesn't mean you have to sit on the ground in complete silence and try to clear your brain and think of nothing. You could go outside and just be with nature, just witness things. You could create with a craft, even if you are someone who sews, who knits, who draws, any creative outlet or things that you enjoyed as a child that are calming and you get in kind of a flow state with. That is meditation. That's a form of meditation. Anything that helps you clear your mind and be calm and flowing with the energy, where it does allow your brain to be more still. That could be also your path through, since we're talking about the inner child. So the advice here would be to get curious. Get curious about the rigid views that you have of what's expected, of what you think you should be doing, or directions you think you should be moving in, expectations that you have of yourself, any places of fixed or rigid views are places to get curious and maybe play with the idea of doing the opposite. If you think that you are expected to work all day and then go to the grocery store, come home, cook dinner, take care of everyone else, then do the dishes, then, find a small amount of time where you try to do something relaxing before bed, and then go to bed and be asleep by a certain amount of time so you could wake up tomorrow and do it all over again. Maybe try to do something different. Maybe just switching it up a little bit will shake up the energy enough to open up for more. Maybe you eat that dinner outside tonight instead of where you usually do, or instead of in front of the TV, just still consuming content of some sort. Small intentional shifts like that can disrupt fixed energies. So I'm not saying you have to skip work and not take care of responsibilities or go too far out of your comfort zone or too far out of your routine. If that routine is working for you, just make a small change, the small shifts with intention, and finding time for stillness to confront that self-image, to confront the self that you see in the mirror. You could also do mirror work, or mirror work for healing of the inner child. There's a lot of places here for possibility as to how you can do this, as to how you can meet your inner child and what it's asking of you. So I'm going to leave this here because I feel like it is asking you to explore, not necessarily taking exactly what I say as what you have to do to have this happen. Trust what you feel is right for you here. Trust that, always do that, but play with how you can meet the needs of your inner child at this time. So I'm going to leave it there. I am so grateful for you and your inner child joining me today. And I hope that you can carve out this time or switch up your routine a little bit where it allows for this type of openness and bold steps forward. So let me know how it goes. Let me know if you try something different or if you have any other ideas for with what your inner child is asking of you. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.